Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview. I'm Mark, and today we're taking a look at Lost to Time. Lost to Time is brought to you by Cryo North Studios. It's for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up, and games range anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. Lost to Time is an engaging real-time board game that combines physical elements such as tiles, dice, and the game board itself with digital components on a unique app. In this collaborative and strategic experience, you and your team of up to 4 players are fighting to survive a deadly maze in a mysterious Mayan temple. Your team will get approximately 15 minutes to work together, build paths to find the 4 golden keys hidden in each corner of the temple. You will roll a set of dice to perform various actions around the temple, while also receiving digital inputs and prompts from the integrated in-game app. Your objective? Bring all 4 keys back to the center console to unlock the unimaginable treasures within. Alright, just a quick look at setup. We have the main board, and around the edges of the board there are 8 keys. Now, 4 of these keys are the golden keys that you're after. However, the other 4 are decoys. So you'll shuffle those up and place them around the edge of the board. Then in the middle of the board you have your start tile, and you'll be placing your meeples, represented by the players, in the middle of the board ready to go. Now each of the colored meeples also have a matching colored set of dice. These dice are going to have all kinds of actions and things you can do with them as you roll them throughout the game. Now you also have the pathway tiles, and there are trap tiles that get put within those pathway tiles. And depending on the player count will determine how many traps are placed into these stacks. Now you're going to shuffle them up and then create like 4 stacks, easy access for everyone to grab, because this is a bit of a frenzy, this game. Then you're going to take your dead block tiles and also shuffle those up and put them to the side. You have your crystals, and then you have your tokens representing the keys. These represent the different keys and have different symbols in each of them, showing which keys are grabbed at any one time. Now you're also going to grab the app, and this is the Lost to Time app. You'll set it up, and there's settings that you can add your name to the profile, but you can start a game without that as well. You'll start the game, you'll host it, or you'll join. Generally hosting it so everyone else at the table can join you. What they'll do then is scan the QR code. That's the easy way to get them into their app and match your room. Now, the rooms have names on them as well, so you can plug that in if you so choose. Each player will choose their appropriate color and choose the start. We are ready to go and activate this game. Now, the app is going to basically lead you through the game and have the timer and everything you need, little prompts as you're moving through. So let's jump in and see how this plays. So the goal here again is for you to reach the outskirts of this Mayan temple and work collaboratively, collectively, to gain or find the 4 golden keys. Hopefully doing so before you run into too many decoy keys, and then bringing them back to the center of the temple in order to plug them in and win the game. So everything here is in real time. All players are rolling their dice simultaneously, and then you'll take 1 dice at a time and perform the actions that it outlines. Now, you'll do that before you roll the dice again, and you can't hold on to dice or put them in reserve. Only in the case of a trap can you do that, but all other dice have to be used per roll. All right, so some of the basics that you're doing here is that you're rolling hoping to find map pieces so you can have your pathway to the edge, and you're building it out. And you're building it out all together at the same time. Everyone's rolling dice, grabbing tile pieces, laying them out, and hoping to create the paths to the different keys around the temple. So it is a bit of a frantic run for the finish line type of play. It is pretty chaotic at times, but tons of fun. So that's the main thing. You have to build out your pathway to the edges in order to find those keys. Now, how do you move though, right? Well, another possible action on your dice is crystals. Crystals are used to move across the board, so you can use them collaboratively, collectively, and as you compile those crystals, then you can start to move your player pieces. And if you're moving individually, it's going to cost you 2 crystals to move each tile space. But if you're all together in a space, you can all move together for the same cost as a single player. Or you might get the block breaker icon for your action. So you're gonna have to pull one of these block breaker tiles. It's a bit of a trap really, and it has the coordinates. It's gonna be a number and a letter where you place it out on the board. And it even has the oriented entrance area, so it shows you basically where to place it and where to get it on the board quickly, because that's key. But you also have to remove these at times to get them out of your way so you can get to the edge of the board and continue moving through the path. Like I said, it's a bit of a trap. They are stones falling from the ceiling after all. But in order to remove them, you have to get the lightning bolt. And the lightning bolt will allow you to break those up and remove them, but you have to have 2 of those between multiple players, working again collaboratively here. But they will break up not only these block breakers, but you can actually remove some of the pathways that have been played if you need to straighten out a path and get some better tiles in play. Now you also have an hourglass, which is just going to give you more time. And this is a reason that everybody has the app on their phone next to them ready to play, because you just tap the dial to add more time. And basically it's going to add 5 seconds every time you get an hourglass. It actually does add up pretty quickly, and really don't miss out on adding time because you're going to need it for sure. Or you might roll the path breaker icon. Now this is going to remove pathway tiles from the board, but the ones that are closest to the center, where you obviously need to get back to because you need to return the keys there. So only on the north, south, east, west axis though will it remove, and it will always remove the closest tile to the center. So those are the basic actions. They're going to be moving you around the temple. You'll be rolling the dice and performing those as you try to find the keys. Now, this is a Mayan temple deep in the darkest jungle, and of course there's other traps that you have to be aware of. So when you do pull a tile or get the tile icon on the dice, you'll pull that tile, and if it happens to be a trap, then you're kind of stuck for a bit. You'll have to take your 6-sided dice, and only the 6-sided dice, and roll them to match the symbols. And this is the one exception in the game where you can hold on to dice and keep rolling the others in order to achieve the unlock state of that trap. But you may not have enough dice to pull it off, so others at the table may have to loan you their dice for a short time. So once you do reach the edge of the board and grab that golden key, hopefully you have avoided one of the decoys, you will take one of these golden key tokens. Now these tokens have different symbols in the middle, and those symbols will correlate to what is on the app. So once you make it back to the middle of the board with that token, then you can click the button on the app to say we captured that key, but only when you've made it back to the center of the board. So it is a race, it is chaotic, and you are running constantly against the clock. And the app has 3 phases. So you start off with 8 minutes, and you're running, trying to find as much as you can, and using all your actions and abilities as possible. But time does run short. Hopefully you've added time, you've gotten hourglasses to help you get as many keys as possible, because in the 3rd phase of the app, the round, so to say, it will give you additional time based on how well you did in the 1st phase. Now, the 2nd phase is all about regrouping. It gives you a bit of a time out. You get to rest, take a moment, kind of strategize, and plan for that 3rd and final phase. Hopefully you've done well enough that you've got some time behind you that you can actually finish this course, because so many things can get in your way. The dropping stones from the ceiling, all the different types of traps, the different paths that get moved and removed, lots of possible terrible things can happen to you in this Mayan temple. But ultimately your goal again is to get all 4 keys back to the center or die trying. Alright folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview, and everything you've seen here has been in prototype form, so keep a close eye on the campaign for any changes that still may occur. Now, with that said, this is a real-time game with lots of potential chaos going on. There's a high fun factor here if you like this kind of game. Now, I like the dice and how they work with the different types of actions and how you have to spin them and then roll them again and move on. It's not just constant rolling. You actually perform actions before you roll again. So how that combination works and how you use those dice with your fellow players really adds to the collaborative nature of the game and how fast it plays. But folks, ultimately, if this looks like a game that would be of interest to you, I'm sure they'd appreciate your support. So I think that's it for me, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.